are now actually going to move towards a session that I hope it's also very optimistic and cheerful, because we want to celebrate, we want to acknowledge governments, regional governments, national governments that are actually already taking a step forward to move towards integrated rural development. So before we start acknowledging these member states that are actively committing to advance and progress in rural areas, I'd like to welcome on stage Mario Milouchev to explain a bit the context of these political commitments under the Rural Pact. So Mario, please.
So, I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you very much. It was a very interesting discussion. I have some things to say, but probably later on. On the discussion now, we have a very positive part of our event today. This session will illustrate how the Rural Pact can be effective in creating political momentum and a living moment to improve rural areas. I would like to say that the Rural Pact remains one of the key initiatives that we facilitate in the framework of the long-term vision for EU rural areas, and thank you very much for mentioning it several times. It is until 2040, so we continue with it. Our strategic goals is to go towards stronger, more connected, resilient and prosperous rural areas. It complements, of course, the EU policy. It is not replacing them. The future we are discussing this morning, and we have the Rural Action Plan with 30 actions led by Commission services to mainstream rural thinking into their programs. The vision for agriculture and food that we approved some 8 months ago takes forward these actions and commits the Commission to strengthen the Rural Pact, update the EU Rural Action Plan early 2026, and strengthen also the rural proofing, which was also mentioned by many of you. Well, you see on the screen now with the next slide that we have 10 shared goals to improve the well-being of rural communities. You know them very well, so I will not go on them. But they were formulated, and that's very important, through 1 year of participatory work, and they really represent the aspirations of all Europeans for rural areas. And of course, we are here because joint action should be taken to achieve these goals. Now we go to the Rural Pact. Since its launch in the first Rural Pact conference in June 2022, the Pact has grown into a vibrant community with over 3,500 members from all sectors of society, all sectors and all levels of governance. We have set up an operational framework for cooperation to amplify rural voices, to network and to share experiences. These are the 3 goals of the Rural Pact. Through the Rural Pact Support Office services and the creation of the Rural Pact Coordination Group. Commitment and cooperation are vital to ensure a greater well-being of rural communities, and their needs span across a high number of sectors and policy domains. And responsibilities for these various sectors and policies are spread at EU, national, regional and local level. All of these levels are represented here today. We have evidence that an integrated approach to addressing rural needs, including developing a strategic vision and cooperating across departments to deliver this vision through action, is the key to improve the situation for rural areas on the ground. This is why, and that is something very important for us, we call for the member states to commit to such an integrated approach through the Rural Pact and the MFF proposals, as we already highlighted. And here I open a small bracket. Pay attention to Article 3(1)(a) of the NRRP regulation, where we speak about integrated strategies for rural areas. And there is a small difference between this article and Article 75, where it is about the local COLD strategies. I go to the policy brief. The Rural Pact has produced a wealth of resources to accompany the development of such an integrated approach, adding to the elements already existing at the international level, such as the OECD principles of the rural policy. In particular, I mentioned the policy brief on making the Rural Pact happen in the member states, which identifies 7 ingredients to implement in practice to improve rural policy design and delivery. I'm very grateful that we have today 4 governments willing to officially engage in the Rural Pact by signing a political commitment. That's a very important moment for us. In doing so, you are leading by example, inspiring others to follow, and more importantly, improving the lives of rural communities on the ground in your countries and regions. And collectively, you help build a critical mass of national, regional, and local governments who recognize rural areas as part of the solutions to the challenges that we are facing and central to the future of Europe. As we move towards greater subsidiarity with the new MFF, flexibility and synergy are also there, and we have this subsidiarity, flexibility, and synergy in the implementation of the EU funds. It will be extremely important that all governments follow this example. And I would like at the end say thank you very much for being here, to the 4 governments, for leading by example. And let's hear what you have planned to those commitments and how you think it can help deliver better rural life. Thank you very much. And Enrique, I pass the floor to you. Thanks.
So you saw me, I was taking a small detail. So now we will continue giving the floor to the 4 governments that will sign a political commitment through the Rural Pact to contribute to the vision with concrete actions on the ground, supporting integrated rural development. And we are trying to put the technology today is not really on our side. We are traveling in the future and it stops working. But anyways, we will make it work. And first, I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Radim Sršeň. He was wearing a different hat before with the Committee of the Regions. Now he will represent the Regional Ministry for Regional Development of the Czech Republic. And I would like to show you, this is on behalf of the Rural Pact community. We have prepared this acknowledgement of your commitment and compromise towards move towards integrated development in your country, and we will take the opportunity now to give it to you on behalf of the Rural Pact community. Now you can have some.
Okay, so now wearing different hat as the Deputy Minister of Regional Development of the Czech Republic. Although after the elections, it's probably our last weeks in the position, but so I can commit to anything, and promise anything, That's an advantage. But to be more serious, thank you very much, and also we are very happy to join to the commitment for rural development. I think we are just following what we have done in the Czech Republic in the many previous years. Maybe my optimism in the previous panel comes from the experience of the Czech Republic, where we made a shift from the agriculture ministry to the regional ministry already many years ago. So rural development is the integral part of the regional development, and we always say it's our family gold. The rural areas are family gold of the Czech Republic. And we are very happy that the differences of quality of life between the people living in urban and rural areas belong among the smallest, according to statistics within EU and OECD. So I think our 6,258 municipalities in the Czech Republic deserve it, and we are very happy and commit to continue to implement strong and integrated rural development policy as a part of the strategy of region development of the Czech Republic 2021 to 2027 and post-2028 to fulfill the long-term vision for rural areas. We commit to support rural development in 2028 plus negotiations and its important place in implementation of 2028 plus policies on the national but also on the European level. And we also will continue to coordinate and support integrated territorial instruments which include in the Czech Republic CLLD and ITI in rural areas, and to give them the attention which they deserve. So that's something we can promise, and it will be our great pleasure to sign the commitment, and at the same time it will be a great pleasure to cooperate with all of you, and I hope that other governments will join also so that we can cooperate on this goal. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Radim. Now we move from a national government to regional governments. They have been as well very active in the context of the pact. And in this case, I'd like to welcome Mr. Sorry for my Polish, Szymon Ogłaza from Marshall, from the region of Opole in Poland. And we have the detail as well for you on behalf of the Rural Pact community.
It's normal for me. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is a very great satisfaction and deep sense of responsibility that I signed today on behalf of the Opolskie Voivodeship, the declaration of accession to the European Rural Pact. This is not merely a formal gesture, but conscious commitment to co-creating a shared European future for rural areas. Strong, modern, and resilient in the face of contemporary challenges. For more than a quarter of a century, the Opolskie region has been a Polish pioneer in the rural renewal. As early as 1997, our region launched the Opole Rural Renewal Program, the first initiative of its kind in Poland. Inspired by the experiences of Austria and Germany, and its very heart has always been the individual and active rural resident capable of taking responsibility for their community, their surroundings, and the future of their region. Thanks to this philosophy, over nearly 3 decades, hundreds of villages across Opolskie have become modern, dynamic places, full of initiatives, leaders, and intergenerational cooperation. Our model was later adopted by many other regions, and Opolskie gained a reputation as a region that not only draws on the best European practices, but also helps to shape them. Today, we are entering a new stage. In October this year, the board of the Opolskie Voivodeship adopted the Opole Rural Renewal 2.0 initiative combining 25 years of experience of local communities with the new challenges of our times. This program focuses on improving the quality of life of rural residents, building active and engaged leadership, preserving cultural and culinary heritage, and identity. It represents our regional contribution to the implementation of the EU long-term vision for rural areas, and today, also to the goals of the Rural Pact, ensuring food security, strengthening integrated rural communities, promoting good governance and shared decision-making, and leveraging the diversity of unique resources of rural areas as a driving force for development. I believe that participation in the Rural Pact community will allow us not only to share our experience, but also to learn from others, together creating a new quality of European cooperation and rural development. Ladies and gentlemen, the countryside is not the past, it's the future of Europe. It is the space where social innovating is born, where solidarity grows, and where community still truly matters. That's why I proudly affirm the Opolskie Voivodeship is joining to the European family of the Rural Pact with full commitment, passion, and faith in the strength of rural people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now we would like to welcome as well a region that has been participating in the Rural Pact for a long time and formally will commit today as well with the actions that they're implementing. I would like to ask my colleague, if possible, to after for the intervention. So I would like to welcome on stage the Vice President of Castilla-La Mancha region from Spain, José Luis Martínez Guijarro. And you will receive as well the acknowledgement of the Rural Pact community. Thank you. Now we put it down.
Sorry, but my English is not very well, and I will speak in Spanish. En primer lugar, dar las gracias por la invitación. Desde el Gobierno de Castilla-La Mancha tiene muy claro que el futuro de la Unión Europea pasa por ofrecerle un futuro a nuestras zonas rurales. Si todos los territorios no crecen a la par, si no se desarrollan juntos, estaremos generando una Europa a dos velocidades que sería, por tanto, una Europa desigual. Por ello, hoy venimos para ratificar nuestro compromiso con esa visión a largo plazo para estas zonas rurales que tan importantes son para nuestra comunidad autónoma y en la que venimos volcando nuestros esfuerzos desde hace años. Somos, como sabrán, una región pionera que aprobó en 2021 una ley de medidas económicas, sociales y tributarias contra la despoblación, que blinda los servicios públicos en el medio rural, la sanidad, la educación, los servicios sociales, que incluye una zonificación por comarcas para poder acotar las necesidades del territorio, además de una fiscalidad diferenciada que ha permitido que en la última declaración de la renta del 2023, la última que tenemos datos oficiales, 90.000 declarantes hayan beneficiado de estas deducciones fiscales de despoblación. Estas medidas tienen como fin último hacer que nuestros pueblos sean lugares atractivos para vivir en ellos, pero necesitamos que sean atractivos para invertir. Y de ahí que apliquemos incentivación positiva y medidas de apoyo específico para empresas y emprendedores que se instalan en estas zonas. Los datos que arroja esta evaluación son esperanzadores. El saldo migratorio acumulado entre 2021 y 2024 en las zonas despobladas es de 15.423 personas. De cada 100 personas que migran a nuestra región, 23 tienen destinos en las zonas poco pobladas. Detrás de estas cifras hay un compromiso por la igualdad entre territorios que se ve también en los presupuestos de Castilla-La Mancha. En 2026 se destinarán 2.116 millones a la lucha contra la despoblación, 1 de cada 4 euros del presupuesto. De ahí nuestro firme compromiso en seguir manteniendo la atención médica continua a menos de 30 minutos, impulsando la escuela rural con menos de 4 alumnos y trabajando para garantizar la atención residencial para nuestros mayores en un radio de 40 kilómetros de su entorno. Todo ello lo estamos desarrollando a través de la Estrategia Regional frente a la Despoblación, con un horizonte en el 2035 y en este año 2025 estamos llevando a cabo una evaluación intermedia. Vamos a seguir por este camino. Estamos desarrollando agendas de desarrollo urbano y rural concebidas para acercar la lupa y reconocer las virtudes y necesidades de las comarcas para poder tomar medidas individualizadas de cada uno de estos territorios. Somos conscientes de que nos quedan aún retos importantes como el de la movilidad interna en cada comarca y la vivienda. La comunicación entre los pueblos y la movilidad en el territorio se ha incluido como un servicio esencial y hemos diseñado el transporte sensible a la demanda. Y en lo que se refiere a las políticas de vivienda, nuestra petición pasa porque desde la Unión Europea y los gobiernos nacionales se elaboren programas flexibles que se adapten a la realidad de cada territorio. Muchas gracias por su atención.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. And now we would like to welcome the last government present today, not the last one that will commit in the Rural Pact. And in this case, representing the regional government of Catalonia, another region in Spain, I would like to welcome Mr. Òscar Ordeig, Regional Minister for Agriculture, Livestock, Food and Maritime Affairs. Please.
Hello, the last one. We are optimistic. We can visit Paris yesterday, okay? And we are optimistic because we come from the rural areas, okay, and we have a lot of homework to do. First of all, I would like to say 3 messages to resume what I want to say. We have a big challenges in all over the world, in the United States, in China, in Europe, for the rural development. Okay, we have a lot of gaps, population, investment, opportunities, and we have to reduce these gaps urgently. We have to do optimistic, okay, but we have to change a lot of things, a lot of laws, a lot of mentalities, okay, the communication, okay, what we are doing and what we have to do for the next years. And we have to do this with a global approach, integrated approach. We are committed with the rural development in this room, but maybe not in other governments or in other places, okay? We have to increase funds and change regulations, as we say, okay? And we have to change the governance, okay? We need to define the actions together, all the value chain in the rural areas, okay? And we have to listen and involve the local communities, companies, mayors, all the people who have to receive these new policies, okay? My team are with me, with the department. We are really concerned with the rural development from a lot of years. We have here the president of ARCA, is the representative of the leader groups in Catalonia, Sergi. Thank you for your amazing work, okay? And congratulations, director, for your for the Rural Pact and for your work. This is the best project that we have in our government, and we want to participate with a lot of proposals. Okay, we want to contribute with our vision and experience from Catalonia, and I will detail. We have a rural agenda. Okay, this is one. We have a rural agenda that we have approved 2 years ago with 900 of actions with public administrations, entities, companies, and with this integrated vision, all the things, all the public services that can affect the population or the opportunities in the rural areas. We speak in this rural agenda about the governance, well-beings, innovation and science, forestry, agri-food system, it's important, connected infrastructure, climate change, renewal, energies, etc. Okay, this is an important because this is an integrated and global approach that all that we have to do the next 10 years. Okay. The first law that we approved in the Parliament of Catalonia, in the new in this term, was the Statute of Rural Municipalities. Okay, we have a law specific for the rural and small municipalities to adapt the regulation to the small rural areas. Okay. We work together with leader groups. I think it's the best place, and we need funds, okay? The best place to share projects with companies, with agri-food sector, with the fisheries, and with in the interior of territory, okay? I think the key is the global vision. We want to economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable growth. Okay, and we have to take this global vision. I think it's important that I defend the full support for agri-food sector and food production. I think it's an engine of rural development, and we don't have to ensure this support, okay, and the general and we have some conflicts, and we have to speak about the future generational renewable strategy. Okay, we have to ensure the full support for young people. Okay. To stay at the rural areas, this is really important. Finally, I would like to invite you to participate in the Euro-regional meeting of a local actions group in Barcelona between November 26 and 28. You can fix in the agenda, director. I think it's a good opportunity to share experience and opportunities in Barcelona with all of you. Okay? Thank you very much, and congratulations for your good job. Thank you.
Yeah, he sits. Take a seat. Just 1 second, and we conclude. So the job is not done just with the acknowledgement of the community. Now we will be looking at you as examples. We would be curious to know how the different actions and commitments are performing, and we would like to promote them to inspire as well other regions. So we will use your political capacity to be an inspiration, and as well to try to advocate for integrated development and the Rural Pact with peers across Europe. Before we conclude, I'd like to thank you very much. I would like to have a final picture with all the governments. These are not the last government, these are the governments that we are acknowledging today. There are also other governments that have already committed to the Rural Pact, and we hope that you out there, as well as members of the Rural Pact community, can convince your governments to commit to take action towards rural areas and take the framework of the Rural Pact to give visibility to the excellent work that is being conducted as well out there in other regions. So.